First, install the sparge line, the tri-port liquid addition assembly, and the harvest line in the head plate. Then install the baffle inside the glass vessel. Carefully install the vessel head plate and secure the top metal ring with threaded screws. Then secure the bottom metal ring. Add media to your vessel. Make sure the media is at a level where the pH and DO sensor tips are submerged in the solution. The pH sensor needs to be calibrated prior to the autoclave cycle. The pH sensor is calibrated using 2 external buffer standards of known pH. Once the sensor is calibrated, carefully install it on the head plate using a compression fitting into one of the PG 13.5 head plate ports. Compression fittings are used to adjust sensor length inside the vessel if necessary. It is important to make sure that the compression fittings are properly assembled. See the operating manual for more information on compression fittings. Carefully install the DO sensor. Cover both the pH and DO sensors with protective caps to protect them from the autoclave cycle. Install the sampling assembly. Install the exhaust condenser. Install a sparge filter on the sparge line and an exhaust filter on the top of the exhaust condenser. Secure the filters with a zip tie. Use autoclave-resistant clamps to clamp the sparge, addition, and the harvest lines. Leave the exhaust line open for proper ventilation during the autoclave cycle. Loosen the sample bottle about 1/2 turn. To protect the filters from any heat damage during the autoclave cycle, cover them with aluminum foil. Place a cap on the bearing housing to protect it from any potential damage during the autoclave cycle. Insert the thermowell. Install the level sensor if it's required for your culture.
Remove probe from 4 molar potassium chloride storage bottle and rinse with distilled water. Connect probe to PCU with cable. On PCU, select Calibrate button and then pH probe. Immerse the pH probe in 7 buffer and allow raw input signal to stabilize. Enter the value 7 in box below Set 0 button and press Enter. Press Set 0 button to accept value. Repeat the pH calibration probe process for a set span using a 4 buffer solution. Clamp off all tubes that have penetrations which go below the internal liquid level to prevent boiling over during autoclaving. Remove the resistance temperature detector from the thermowell. Make sure all solutions are covered with aluminum foil. Mark with indicator tape and labeled. and that the sugar addition bottle is clamped. Loosen glass sample bottle on sterile sampler about 1/2 turn. Get autoclave cart. Set fermenter vessel upright on cart and all other solutions in plastic autoclave pan. Move the fermenter and solutions into the autoclave in the BRL using the cart. Open the autoclave doors by cranking the wheel all the way clockwise. Load the autoclave cart into the autoclave. Close the autoclave doors by cranking the wheel all the way. Connect water and air lines. Attach pH probe to PCU. Replace resistance temperature detector in thermowell. Connect water lines to condenser. Attach dissolved oxygen probes to PCU. Reattach motor drive. Turn on PCU power so probes can polarize overnight. Add glucose solution by threading addition bottle tubing through the lowest peristaltic pump and connecting it to one tube on the addition triport. Remove the clamps. On the pump screen, change the pump power setting to 100 and press on until as much glucose solution as possible has been transferred into the fermenter. Reclamp the addition triport tubing before disconnecting addition bottle. The temperature is 32 degrees Celsius. Set the aeration rate by turning the red dial on the wall counterclockwise until gas flows, and selecting the O2 enrichment under the air tab. Set the agitation by changing the agitation control from off to auto and entering the fermentation speed of 300 RPM into set point. On PCU, select calibrate, then dissolved oxygen probe. Type 0 into the box below the set 0, but do not press set 0 yet. Momentarily disconnect cable from dissolved oxygen probe. When bra input stops decreasing, press set 0. Reconnect cable to dissolved oxygen probe. Type 100 into the box below the set span button. When bra input stops increasing, press set 0 button. Check that pH is between 4.5 and 5. Throw the sodium hydroxide addition bottle feed through the middle peristaltic pump and connect to an unused addition triport tube. Turn off airflow by pressing off under the air tab. Prime the sodium hydroxide addition pump by removing the clamps, entering the pump screen, and repeating pressing and holding the prime button on the middle base pump's control. Continue priming the pump until sodium hydroxide is just about to drip into the fermenter. Turn aeration back on. 1 syringe. Start fermentation. Reset the agitation to 300 RPM. Under Trends menu, hit Clear button to reset data collection. Immediately take the first sample by opening the red valve on the sterile sampling port, squeezing the red bulb to clear sample tube, and create a vacuum. Then, slowly releasing the red bulb. Sample should flow up from the attached vial. Close the red valve and replace full sample vial with an empty one. Sample every hour. After the last sample, export trend data with a USB drive. See sample analysis. Set temperature control to off. Set agitation to off and remove the drive motor. Disconnect, remove, rinse, and store all lines, probes, and cables. Loosen nut holding sterile sampler in place and lift out assembly for easier cleaning. Wipe down metal tubing and rinse out with distilled water, being careful that filter does not get wet. Disconnect. Wipe everything else down and clean it up.